Hi and welcome to part 3, the final part in this trilogy of how to digitize your own design. In this case, the ABC design shown on screen now. The final part is the letters. Okay, so the third and final stage is the lettering. What I'm going to do is just put a tie off stitch there. I think I might have done it already, but I can take those out if I put in too many. I'm going to select needle up. I'm going to jump inside the A. I'm going to put a needle down and I'm going to change colour. Yeah, let's go for red. So now I'm going to digitize the A, B and C in the same colour in this third and final stage. As before, even though the A, B and C is fairly visible here, and it will be even more visible when I zoom in, what I'm going to do is just clock the amount of stitches that's in the design, 3005 stitch points at this point. I'm just going to display from 3000. So it will hide all the previous stitches that I've done before, making it easier to digitize the A, B and C. And what I'm also going to do is just zoom in to the A to make it even simpler. So the first thing I'm going to do is just lay down some underlay stitches which will hold the material in place before the actual letters get put in place. And you'll notice that to help me, I've numbered and drawn on the design very easily, very quickly, exactly what and how I want the design to sew. The red borders represent overlaps, so where one column will overlap another and how far I need to go and come back down. So I've laid down some very brief underlay stitches. So what I'm going to do now is switch to column mode by pressing the enter key. Put my first stitch down. These are all going to be left mouse button, so straight column stitches. Okay, press enter key to go back to run stitch, back down here, press the enter key to go into column stitches again, and I'm going to start this side over here. I'm going to go over to here. You can see that it's going to overlap here as exactly as I've drawn. I'm going to make these horizontal, and then finally over here, back to running stitch over here. These are all, as I say, left hand mouse buttons, left mouse button clicks, back to column stitch again, there, there, and you can see it's overlapping and overlapping here as designed, here and here. Back to a running stitch. I can put a couple of tie off stitches here, and then I can put a jump in if I wish, or I can leave it as it is and then clip it at the end, depending on if you've got automatic trimming on your embroidery machine. And then I'm over into the B. So now I'm going to use the pan button. I don't need to change the from stitch count to draw from a different stitch count because I can see the letter B. So I've drawn over here the number 1 and an overlap to guide me in and remind me to digitize the letter B. It's very easy to go wrong when you're digitizing freehand, so the more helper points you can put on the designs, whether you've digitally created them or you have scanned them, the better. So this is indicating I'm going to create an overlap here. I'm going to digitize the first point here, up to just the middle of the bottom of the B, because I intend to jump over to the C at the shortest point. So what I'm going to do is just run some underlay stitches, which are all left mouse button. Okay, I'm now going to switch to column stitches. Here, here, I'm going to put a right mouse button now here for a curve, and then a left, and then right, right, left, left. Okay, I'm now going to switch back to running stitch and run up to point place 2. So I'm going to finish by coming back down to the B this way and jump over to the C. So over here I put an overlap, so I'm going this direction from left to right. So back into column stitch. These are just columns. Here I'm going to put a right, a right, a left, right, right, left, left, and you can see how these helper lines, the red lines that I've drawn on this image, is helping guide me through putting the stitches in the right place. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Here are just 2 left, I don't need 2 rights because it's a straight edge. And when I go down here you can see it's going to overlap. And here again 2 straights, they don't need to be right mouse curve stitches. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, with a little bit of overlap, and the B is complete. Back to a running stitch, couple of tie off stitches, jump over to the letter C, and we can continue in to the C in pretty much the same way, putting some underlay stitches down on the C itself, starting from the right hand top, back into column stitch, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left. I think you get the idea now. 2 lefts, 2 rights, 2 lefts, 2 rights, I'm going to be a little bit brave here and put my rights here instead of in between, giving me a less tight curve, but still works okay. Okay, so back into running stitch, couple of tie off stitches there, needle up roughly to the center of the design, and there is our design complete. So I'm happy with that design. I'm now going to exit the digitizing. I can draw from the first stitch, but I'm going to exit from the digitizing first, go back to the canvas. I'm going to fit the design, draw from 0, and that's our complete design. So I'm just going to change the colors now by double clicking on the color and make them match more or less the colors that were there before. Dark green and then yellow. Okay, a redraw, Okay, so the design looks pretty much the same as the image. If you remember, bottom right hand corner, the image, the design was slightly not touching the image. Look, so I can right click here, I can go into point edit. I'm just going to pull that stitch point, which is a curved stitch point, or Mark 2. You can see down here it's a curved stitch that I'm pulling to one side. Move it, press enter to redraw, and you can see it's now gone to the edge. And I can do the same for any edge. If I saw a design that wasn't particularly right, a piece that wasn't particularly right, I can zoom in and change it. For instance, the B here, I'm just going to look at that B. It doesn't look as curved as I want it to. I'm going to draw from probably 4,000 stitches to see. No, too much. So let's go back to 3,000. Yes, I can see that design. I can then, if I wanted to, I can choose. Let me just go through there. I can then go to this point here and I can move it a little bit further out if I wanted to. Same with this one. I'm using the arrow keys, or I can use the mouse key. Draw from 0 again. Fit the design, and that's our complete design. Just to see what it looks like without the image, I'm going to unload the image. So that's our design fitting screen. I'm going to make it actual size, and that's it. So that concludes parts 1, 2, 3, how to digitize your complete design, including a backing fill stitch, a border or edging column stitch, and the letterings on top, showing you how to use a draw from feature, the colour change, needle up, and the digitizing feature. Thank you for watching.